Welcome to the city of the unwritten. A city that's given so much. A city of people who aren't afraid to get their hands dirty. A city of makers, entrepreneurs, musicians, artists. A city of laughter, memories, and people who will welcome others in with a cup of heartwarming handmade coffee. A city of people, young and old, working together. People who explore, live, and grow together. But what makes this place special? Being listed year after year as one of the best places to raise a family. Maybe because we have a community recognized for its safe neighborhoods and revered for its low unemployment. A city where adventure is everywhere you look, where you can pioneer your own story. We've opened a new page to write on for the generations ahead. Welcome to Bismarck. Come write your story.
Awesome. I never get tired of that video. Yeah. Well, good morning, 1 million cups. Good to see. Thank you. Thank you. I'll accept that. It was kind of weak, but I'll accept that. My name is Janya Anderson, and I'm going to be your MC today. I promised myself I would remember to tell you my name, because the last time I MC'd, I forgot. All right. Well, welcome. First, I want to find out how many of you, this is your very first 1 million cups. Yeah, lots of hands in the audience today. Fantastic. Now, I must confess we did stack the deck a little bit today. I would like to extend a warm welcome to Youth Leadership North Dakota, who came in a bus, a big yellow bus today. So, yay! Welcome. We have a lot of future entrepreneurs sitting out there, which is very, very exciting. So we'll try to be on our best behavior and create a good first impression. Now, I know for my younger crowd, you're all into apps, right? So if you'd like to join the 1 Million Cups community, go ahead and please download the app. And if you already have, don't forget to check in. That is the way that the Kauffman organization, who created 1 Million Cups, finds out just how active we all are. So we want to look good, okay? I'd also like to send a huge shout out to our sponsors. These are the folks up here who keep the lights on, keep this thing rolling every week. If you see anybody from one of these sponsors, if they have their logo on their shirt, for example, I know Marlo Anderson is here, go up to them afterwards and just give them a big old hug, okay? It'll embarrass them, make them feel a little uncomfortable, but they will feel the love. Okay, awesome. Well, for all my newbies, what the heck is 1 Million Cups? Well, 1 Million Cups is a free weekly program. This is happening in more than 250 communities across the U.S. Every Wednesday morning, we give an entrepreneur or a few of them a chance to come up on stage and to share their story. So we can learn more about them, but we can also offer them our support. And basically, it's based on this premise, answering this question: can we change the face of our startup community over 1 million cups of coffee? And I should lie to you and tell you we don't get to leave the room until we've consumed 1 million cups of coffee, but no, that would be a lie. Though I will tell you that when our speaker comes up on stage today, you're going to think that she personally consumed the 1 million cups of coffee and all this morning. I will tell you, I've known Renita Brannan, who's going to be our speaker today, for a long time, and when I know I'm going to have a meeting with Renita, I drink at least 3 cups, seriously. And even then, I'm not even close to keeping up with her. So let me just check my notes to make sure I got everything except for a couple of things. One, this remember to use #1MCND. That is for later, after Renita's shared some information with us, we're going to open it up to Q&A. And if you're feeling a little shy, you can ask your questions via this hashtag. And we have Lakin in the audience monitoring social media, and she will boldly ask your question for you. However, if you're feeling confident this morning, you can ask your own question by holding up your hand, and we'll have someone who will run a microphone over to you. Okay, but that's in a little while. First, we're going to give Renita a chance to share a little bit about herself. But before we even do that, we're going to open it up for some community announcements. Okay, so if anybody in the audience has something they'd like to share, an event that's going on in the community, and I can see Dawn is already squirming in her seat. Dawn, do you have something? Awesome. Okay.
I think there's a slide, Kate said.
Ooh, there's a slide that says beer.
Oh, there it is.
Okay.
All right. So I'm Dawn. I'm the CEO of the Downtowners Association. For all the students that are not 21 yet, close your ears. We have a great event coming up next Thursday, August 1st, called Beers and Boutiques, as it says right there. It is August 1st from 4:30 to 8:30 p.m., and this is a great way to check out a lot of the shops downtown. It's not just boutiques, shops, galleries, different locations, and at every location you get to sample a different beer or hard sparkling beverage and eat some food. Tickets are available at our website, downtownbismarck.com, and if you have a group of 4 or more, you can still get the early bird rate. So check it out. We have a few tickets left. Again, August 1st, Beers and Boutiques is their 3rd annual event, so hope to see you there. Unless you're 21 and under, you actually can come. You can't drink or enter any prizes, but you can still walk along and check out the shops. Thanks.
So if it's for 4 or more, is that an early flock discount?
Ooh.
All right. And then I think there's a one for Disrupt Well. Guys, by any chance? Aha! See, there it is. And I'm MC, and I'm going to do a quick community announcement. Mark your calendars, please. This our 3rd annual Disrupt Well is Tuesday, September 17th. If you've never been, it's absolutely amazing. It's one day of just talking about mind-blowing technology and innovations that are really changing and reshaping our world. And then the second half of that, the Disruptive Innovation Challenge, is basically a competition that we have for innovation that's happening right here in North Dakota. We bring those folks to the forefront and really put the spotlight on them during the conference. So the deadline for that is this Friday. So if you are interested at all in applying, you can see, you can go to the Disrupt Well website, check out the application. It really is designed to be fairly painless. So hopefully we'll see some applications. Mike. Okay. All right. Now, with that said, let's bring on the main event. I'm super excited. So I have the honor of introducing Renita Brannan. I've known Renita for quite some time, but I ironically decided I was going to use someone else's words about Renita to introduce her this morning. Renita co-wrote a book a number of years ago with Monica Hannon, and I thought Monica described her first meeting Renita so brilliantly that I wanted to read that to you this morning. So here's what Monica had to say. She said, imagine walking into a room and seeing an individual so passionate that every word she speaks inspires you to want to be better, live better, and make your health truly matter. That's the experience I had the first day I met Renita Brannan. That day, Renita's energy was magnificent. Every word she said created a feeling of strength and determination, and as each second ticked, you could feel the audience becoming more and more empowered to see the possibility of forever achieving their health goals. And Renita's here to share with us something called the PFC Plate, which is a product that she's come out with that helps you in that achievement of those goals. Renita.
Thanks, Tanya. Thanks, babe. Thank you.
You're going to be awesome.
I'm actually kind of nervous, and I really don't get nervous to speak because I speak a lot, but I'm so thankful you're all here, and welcome to all the young people, right? Let's give it up for the young people. Woo! I think some of you young people need to get a little bit more fired up about being here. Something like this can change the course of your life. I wish I had something like this when I was younger. Unfortunately, I didn't realize I was an entrepreneur until after I had tried multiple jobs and realized I didn't like working for somebody else and I wanted to work for myself. And that's when my kind of entrepreneur career began. But the PFC Plate is something that has been pretty much like a lifetime dream. The last 9 years especially, I've been talking this message and sharing this message and helping people change their life and their nutrition. And honestly, it's amazing that Janya and Evan are both here because I couldn't have done anything without these two. And the truth is teamwork makes the dream work, right, guys? Teamwork makes the dream work. We can all have really great ideas, but unless we have the right people around us to bring that dream to fruition, not much happens. I just read a statistic this morning. It said that 80% of entrepreneurs that have an idea or a concept that a product possibly that they want to bring to market, don't do it because of lack of action, because of lack of resources, because of lack of the right people around them. And so I'm so fortunate and blessed to know Evan and Janya. So let's talk about this. My goal is actually to help 1 million people nourish their bodies. So it's interesting that I'm at 1 million cups, but I really believe that we can take back our health by believing we can. And I think that's the first step to change, is knowing that you can make a difference in your health. I think for a long time, people have given their power away when it comes to their health. I hear many times, after being in the health and fitness industry for over 22 years, I hear, my husband doesn't support me. I don't know how to shop. I don't know what to eat. I lack motivation. I don't have good willpower to get up in the morning and exercise. I've pretty much have heard the entire gamut of excuses, but I'm like, you know what? You can make excuses or you can make changes. You really can't make both. And so what I realized is, the first step to change is deciding that you want to do it and that you want to become healthier. So I actually did write that book, Nice and Fat, which is pretty amazing that book actually became an Amazon bestseller. I self-published it with Monica, but the reason it became an Amazon bestseller is because my husband, Scott. He's really smart, and we found a way to actually look at those different categories on Amazon, because there's like diet, there's like mental health, there's like faith, there's business, there's entrepreneurship, all these categories on Amazon. And when you go to launch a book, Scott actually found 2 and 3 categories that we entered into, and we actually became an Amazon bestseller. And it was crazy. We watched it that night. I launched it, and within 3 hours, I was sitting watching Amazon, and I was the top seller on Amazon, which is usually only books that are going to be published by like HarperCollins or some of these major publishers. And here was Renita Brannan, Nice and Fat, with Monica Hannon, right next to Joel Osteen. Like, those were the 2 top-selling books on Amazon, like, for 5 hours. And I was like, holy cow, I'm standing next to Joel Osteen. This is incredible. But that was God. That was definitely God, and that was definitely my husband choosing the right category. And that's where, again, partnership and, teamwork makes the dream work. I feel like nobody can really do that much on their own. I have over 20 nutrition and fitness certifications. I've been at this a long time. I have an amazing husband, Scott. I've got 3 awesome boys. Bo, want to raise your hand? He's 19. I've got Truett, who's at basketball camp, and then we've got Rocco somewhere in here. Where's Rocco? What happened to Rocco? He's probably up there. Oh, he's up there with the guys, learning all the tech stuff. That's good. He's 10. He's up there waving. And so something that changed the course of my life and how I was training people, because I had been teaching fitness and nutrition for a very long time. About 9 years ago, I met an individual that really changed the course of my life. And he actually said to me, Renita, how's weight loss working? And I said, well, people are losing weight. And he said, are they keeping it off? I said, well, no. The majority are gaining it back, right? So how many of you have ever been on a diet? Raise your hand. All the young people, I hate seeing young people on diets, but they're even raising their hands. See, this is the culture we live in. How many of you know somebody who's been on a diet? Raise your hand. And every hand in the room goes up, right? We all know somebody that has dieted or is on a diet. And I think diet is a dirty 4-letter word. Let's go with the first 3 letters, D-I-E. How do you feel when you're on most diets? Like you're gonna die. Anybody, right? Some of these ones where you eliminate the carbohydrates, I'm like, yeah, now you're thin, but you're really mean, and you have no friends left, right? So there's all these crazy diets, and actually we wrote about them in the book, and Monica Hannon's really funny. She talked about a time where she ate nothing but bananas, and she said, you can actually overeat on nature's perfect fruit, and her fingers swelled up like sausages. And so it's incredible when you look at all these crazy diets that people do, and honestly, the diet industry is a $1 trillion industry, and it's designed to fail you. For every diet that you're ever going to be on, it's always a temporary fix, right? Whether it's a pill, a potion, do this, don't do that. They don't really teach you how to nourish your body. And what I realized a long time ago is in 2000, I was actually Miss Fitness North Dakota. And I was actually not healthy at all. I was ripped, I was lean, I did this competition in this bikini, I won, but I was probably eating under 1,000 calories a day, and I was exercising probably 3 to 4 hours a day. I was definitely probably anorexic at the time, exercise addict, and that day of the competition, I remember stepping on stage, and they gave me this trophy, and I won, And I just remember feeling like complete hell. Like I remember taking a shower because I had to super glue my bikini on and I was trying to pull it off and it was ripping off my skin and my hamstring had pulled during the split jump. And I was literally standing in the shower and I thought to myself, there has got to be more to health than this because I don't feel well. And so that was a turning point in my life where I kind of moved from dieting and restriction to figuring out what it takes to actually nourish your body. What does it take to actually feel amazing and look amazing, right? Because we know a lot of people that maybe look really good, but they feel like complete hell, right? Just look at anybody who's on a diet or restricting calories. They just don't feel well. And so I learned from my friend something about eating in threes, and it was called blood sugar stabilization. And I always thought blood sugar was just for people who are diabetic. How many of you, when I say blood sugar, you think, okay, I don't have diabetes, why is she talking? Right? That's kind of how I was. I was like, why are we talking about blood sugar? I know like 2 diabetics and they're, giving themselves insulin. And what I found out is that when you stabilize your blood sugar, you actually stabilize hormones. So everybody's weight problem is not necessarily a calories in versus calories out problem. It's a hormonal problem. So if we can help people to nourish their bodies by stabilizing their blood sugar, it's actually going to balance their hormones. And guess what happens? You naturally lose weight and you feel amazing. So it's so simple. And so what happened is I was running around the state, actually, the country, really. I was educating schools. I was educating Phy-Ed teachers. I was educating nutrition classes. I was educating workplace wellness. I mean, I literally was carrying, do you guys know those stacks of white paper plates that are like super cheap? They're $3 and there's like 300 paper plates in there. I should have probably taken out stock in those paper plates because I bet I handed out 1,500 stacks of plates, at least. I mean, every place I went, that was my teaching tool. I would hand everybody a plate, and I would teach them how to eat right. And that's literally what I did. I just ran around the state, the country, teaching people how to eat right. And so by eating PFC every 3, I'm actually going to have you guys say that so you remember it, so it gets sticky in your brain. So can you say this with me? PFC, every 3, like a baby. I need a little more energy. PFC, every 3, like a baby. So I taught this to the kindergartners. She did good over here. I taught this to the kindergartners, and I actually had them say, wah, at the end, and then it got really sticky, because then they were just saying that all week long to every teacher, every janitor. It was really fun. It was funny. I taught the kindergartners, and the next morning I get a email from the teacher, and she said, Renita, you're never going to believe this. Joseph was in the hallway, and he was teaching the janitor PFC every 3 like a baby. And I was like, if the kindergartners can get this concept, anybody can learn it, right? So basically what it does is when you eat balanced blood sugar, it literally stabilizes your blood sugar. Your body releases the stored fat into your bloodstream, and your muscles can use that as fuel, okay? So the concept is you eat protein, fat, carbs, and you do it every 3 hours. How many of you have ever had a baby? Raise your hand. How many of you were a baby? Raise your hand. Okay? If you were a baby, how often were you eating? Every 3 hours. And if you didn't eat every 3 hours, how did you get? Cranky, right? I think sometimes we all call it moody, but I think a lot of women, especially, we like skip meals, we go all day without eating, and we wonder why like we're a bear cat. You know what I mean? I'm like, let's start eating. Let's stabilize our blood sugar to stabilize our hormones. So what it does is it really helps to build lean muscle. I realized in a hurry as I went around the country presenting to even different athletic organizations, I'd take and talk to an entire group of cross-country runners or a volleyball team. I mean, these athletes are college runners and college athletes, and I'd say to them, hey, what's a protein? And they'd holler out, oatmeal. And I'm like, wrong answer. I'm like, we don't have the fundamentals of nutrition right, and that's why everybody is having such a hard time with their health. And so very quickly, I learned that if I can help people to stabilize their blood sugar, it will literally, like it says, ignite your metabolism, build your lean muscle, help achieve weight loss, and renews your health. And here's the kicker. It doesn't work for some of you. It works for every single one of you. Why? Because this is how God created our bodies. It's straight science. I had an 80-year-old that lost 120 pounds. She started at 79 years old. You know how some people say, I can't do it. I've had 3 kids. My metabolism is shot. She was 79. She was morbidly obese. And she lost 120 pounds by her 80th birthday. How crazy is that, you guys? And then I have the kindergartners who are just rocking their health. And then I have my boys who are tremendous athletes. They're just tremendous. I mean, my son Bo is here, and he took second in the nation a couple times in the Junior Olympics in running. So we have these tremendous, athletic, muscular, 20-pack kids, and I'm feeding them the same way that I'm feeding myself. I'm feeding them the same way that I'm feeding the woman that lost 120 pounds. I'm feeding them the same way that I taught the college athletes to eat. I'm feeding them the same way that I'm talking to the 35-year-old mom who struggled with her weight. What I realize is this program is for everybody, and this is why. It doesn't teach you to diet. It doesn't teach you to restrict calories. What it teaches you is how to nourish your body with food. How many of you like that idea? Raise your hand. Okay, the rest of you should like it, because if not, you're going to chronically diet and be a bear cat, right? Enough of the bear cat. So what happened is, after taking all those stacks of paper plates into all the schools and running them around and realizing that it wasn't just the kindergartners and it wasn't just the 80-year-old people, it was everybody that needed this. What happened is, after doing that hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of presentation and handing out thousands and thousands and thousands of these plates, what happened was, I literally thought to myself one day when I was standing in the shower, do any of you have good ideas in the shower, by the way? Raise your hand. Do you guys know that there's the same brain waves that happen in the shower or when you're swimming as when you're sleeping and dreaming? Did you guys know that? I think it's because your mouth is shut, right? And for me, I got to shut my mouth to actually start thinking. So if you have great ideas in the shower, some days I just take 4 or 5 showers just so I get ideas, okay? No joke. Anyway, if you're an entrepreneur, sometimes you can relate to that. But anyway, I had this idea when I was in the shower, I should make a plate. I should make a real plate that people can hold in their hand, because the first stage of learning is visual, right? I can sit here and talk, but if you have a tool, because I believe tools rule, if you have a tool in your hand, I mean, how many of you have a Fitbit on or a tracking device right now? Raise your hand. I mean, it's incredible. Fitbit changed the course of how we track and monitor our movement. People that don't move that much are standing in the kitchen, running in place, trying to get their steps in, right? Maybe you're that person washing dishes and running. And so I feel like if we can have a tangible tool, here's the difference with learning. 95% of what we do with our body comes from our mind. How many of you know this? 95% of everything that we do every day comes from our mind. So it's not just about teaching people to lose weight, it's getting people to change their mind to change their life. And so what the plate does is, I'm not just going to teach you, it's kind of like this. I have 2 brother-in-laws, and they wanted to learn Spanish. So they, took Rosetta Stone or whatever, and they learned a little bit of Spanish. And then you know what they decided to do? They moved to a Spanish-speaking country for a year. How much do you think they learned Spanish when they lived there? What was better, just sitting at home, listening and learning Rosetta Stone, or actually moving to a Spanish-speaking country and engulfing yourself with this language? They came back and they were so fluent in Spanish, they were subbing at Mandan High School as Spanish teachers. I mean, it's crazy like that, right? So the truth is you don't just change your mind by learning something new. You change your mind by implementing it and the integration, because you would literally need to change the neural pathways of your brain, okay? We all have trees. Maybe the trees say, I'm stuck, I can't lose weight, I'm overweight, I can't do it, I don't know how to eat, I don't know how to cook. Maybe that's what your neural pathways have said for 30 years, 50 years, 20 years, 5 years. The truth is you can change your brain right now. It's called your brain is neuroplastic. You guys can change your brain a little bit by listening to me, and you can change your brain a whole lot by holding a tangible tool in your hand. And every day you're looking at your protein, you're looking at your fat, you're looking at your carbs. It tells you the exact portion sizes for men, women, and children, so it takes the guesswork out of it. You don't have to guess. You just got to measure your food. And when you do that, you start to stabilize your blood sugar, and you literally turn your body into a fat-burning machine. It's crazy. It's awesome. So what happened is I had this idea. I need to make a plate. And here's how God confirmed. It's crazy how God confirms when you're on the right path. I was thinking, gosh, I should make this plate. I should make this plate. And all of a sudden that week, as soon as I said, how can I make this plate? I didn't say, oh, I don't know how to do it. I thought, how can I do this? And that's what I encourage you to start doing as an entrepreneur, as a creator. Start asking questions like, how can I bring this to fruition? Who can I talk to make this happen? I started just thinking, should I do this? I think I'm supposed to do this. And that week, it was crazy. I had a little boy that came up to me, and he said, hey, you're that lady that taught us PFC every 3 like a baby. I said, I am. He goes, I took that plate home and I put it on the fridge, and my mom has been buying those groceries like that ever since. And I mean, it was a kid telling me this, right? And then that same week, I ran into another gal that said, you know what, you gave a speech down at Rough Rider Health Education for all the coaches of North Dakota, and I had that plate that you had us write on. I put it on my fridge. I've lost 30 pounds. My husband's lost 40 pounds. Our kids are eating healthy. And it was literally like God saying, Renita, get going on the plate. And so I was like, who do I call? What do I do? And I thought, you know who's the smartest person I know? Evan Anderson. And I thought, I am going to call Evan Anderson because that guy is a genius and a creator, and he can help me to make this plate. I know what the plate needs to say. I just don't know where to get this plate. Like, how does this happen? What does this process look like? And so basically, it was like, as soon as I went out to Evan, it was just like the wheels were gone. We were off and running. And I mean, it literally teaches people how to eat right for the rest of their life. It teaches them how to nourish their bodies. And it's crazy because the world wants this. The world wants to know what to do. I was telling Evan and Janya, this last night I had a girlfriend call me from Minneapolis, and she said, I was listening to this radio station in Minneapolis on Monday, and the guy on the radio said, I need to lose weight. And he said, I wish there was a plate that I could look down at, and it would tell me how much steak to eat. And I was like, oh my gosh, this guy is talking about my plate. So guess what I'm doing? I'm setting this major radio announcer with this huge audience, a stack of plates. I'm like, here you go. You know, it's just like drop from heaven, boom, right? So anyway, so I love that it's just all around us. Everybody wants to feel well. Everybody wants to be in a good mood. Everybody wants to be happy. No one wants to cut calories and restrict because they feel like hell. So as we go, this is the journey 2020. I started using that message like I told you guys, and it was everywhere. PFC diagram and paper plates, that's really how I taught it. I taught that way for so many years, just carrying around those white paper plates. It was my tool. In 2016, I went into Evan and Johnny and I said, hey, listen, we got to figure out, where do I get this plate? Like, can I get it made in the United States? Because I like US made things. Like, can we do this? Can we make this plate and can we turn around and sell it? And for, as you see there's kind of a 2-year gap between 2016 and 2018. So sometimes I think people have good ideas and they don't stick with the process. They fall short because they quit too soon. And I just stuck in there because you know what? Here's the truth. You know how a good idea is a good idea? You're still thinking about it a year later. You're still thinking about it 2 years later, and it's still a great idea. Now, how many of you have had a good idea, and a month later you're like, thank God I didn't act on that idea, because it was not so good. But if you have an idea, and a year later it's great, and 2 years later you're like, why aren't I moving on this idea? I'm telling you what, it's go time, baby. Like, you got to just get up and go after it. And so what happened is again, thank God I was around those guys because they're like, this is how we're going to do it. 2018, we registered the PFC plate. The plates arrived. I was so excited. I actually wanted to fly out to California to be like on the docks when they got there. I was like, can I do that? Will they let me on the barge? Like, I didn't know how it all worked, but I didn't go out there. But anyway, I wanted to. And so as soon as these guys got the plates delivered to them in a blizzard, and they unloaded the truck without me because I think I was out of town, I walked out and it was like heaven when they opened the back of the trailer and there's all these cases of the PFC plate. I'm like, oh, it was like heaven opened. And I was like, oh my gosh, here is a dream coming to pass. It's just so incredible. So what's next? We actually, even though we just launched it like April 1st, we're actually changing the color of it. And part of the reason I want to change the color of it, I think that red sometimes implies anger. Sometimes red implies stop, right? And I love green because green is growth and green means go. And when you look at this plate has all the foods that you should be eating. Not that you shouldn't be eating, that you should be eating. So we're actually changing it to green. We had amazing feedback. We've sold probably, I would say, 40,000 plates, 38 to 40,000 plates so far, which is awesome. And we plan, I want to help 1 million people, so we got a long way to go. But what we're going to do is, the feedback has been that we want a bone china plate. We want something that we can just wash and use again and again and again. And so they right now are sold in packs of 50, and we encourage everybody to eat on the plate for 8, which means for 8 weeks, because it helps to change that neural pathways, right? You're not going to get healthy by eating on this once. You're not even going to get healthy by eating on this for a week. You got to literally change your brain to change your life, and that's going to happen through repetition. And we have a PFC bar. I'm so excited, and it's really huge because it's going to be like protein, fat, carbs, and it actually has microbiome, which is prebiotics, so good gut health, because a lot of weight loss and long-term health is connected to our gut. Did you guys know that? And so it's really amazing. So we have a lot more things coming. This was my family out at Evan and Jania's. I think it was literally like, I don't know when that was, like January 2nd or 3rd or something like that. And we were standing out there. My hair is white there. That was just a phase. And so I got over that real quick. Anyway, and so that was the plates that day. We were so excited that we got them. And so it's just been a really huge, awesome, amazing blessing to have an idea. It's still an idea a year later, 3 years later, and then one day I take a shower and I think, I'm making a real plate. People need a tool in their hands to simplify nutrition. And so that's what we did. All right. Okay.
Okay, so now we're going to head into the Q&A portion, and I've got, again, Lakin is going to be monitoring, so if you're feeling a little shy, remember #1MCND, you can put your question out there and she'll ask it for you. However, if you are feeling bold, we have Dawn as our mic runner, so you just raise your hand, she'll bring that over to you, you can ask your question loud and proud. I'm going to, Evan, Renita asked that you join us on stage, if you wouldn't mind.
Genius Evan, get up here, Evan. Come on.
Get up here.
Evan and Jania are the smartest people I know in my life. How about you guys? You guys know this too, this couple?
Renita.
They're geniuses.
Excuse me, gag rule apply.
They literally are. Okay, I'm in the middle. Okay.
Oh, but we're sharing a mic. Okay, we're good.
Okay.
Okay, so now we're going to open it up to questions, but selfishly, I have the mic, so I'm going to ask the first question. So, Renita, you're an amazing trainer and coach, and how is it switching over to actually designing and developing a product? What were some of the biggest challenges making that shift?
Well, I think that sometimes, like in fitness, a lot of people in fitness and nutrition, if you guys don't realize this, they love fitness and nutrition. They love to help people. It's the love of the game. It's not that they make so much money. It's just that they love to help change lives, right? I kind of want both. I want to be a millionaire and help a million people. Why not, right? And I just believe that I thought at a certain point when I was running to the Indian reservations, the Native American reservations actually had me come in and speak. And what happened was I didn't see 1 or 10 or 50 people get off their diabetes medications and lose weight and feel great. I mean, I saw 1,000. And when I got called from the Bureau of Indian Affairs or something like that from Washington, D.C., and they said, what on earth are you doing with these reservations? I thought, I'm just teaching them how to nourish their bodies and stop dieting. That's all I'm doing. And I thought, okay, I need to be there. I need to be in the school systems educating the youth, because I think that when you guys are young, if you can implement these strategies now, you're not going to struggle with dieting. You're not going to struggle with dieting. Do you guys know that there's only 2 times in your life where fat cells are established, and one is when you're going through puberty, and so that's up until the age of about 20, and the other time is when you're pregnant as females. And so, like, if we can establish good nutritional habits with youth, it's a big deal. So I had to be at the schools, I had to be on these reservations, I was giving presentations at workplace wellness, and eventually I thought, I cannot be everywhere. I can't do this. I actually need to create the tool, because tools rule. I need to create a tool that people can just have that tangible tool in their hand, and we can make it so simple, because not only do we give them the tool, and this is where Johnny has been so amazing. We actually give them like exact things that they do. So number 1, you got a chart to start. You got a chart to start, right? So you got to chart where you're at, where you're beginning. Marlo, we're going to weigh and measure you later on, okay? And then talk kind of the overview of the PFC plate, and then also like just an additional grocery shopping list resource, because people don't know what to buy or what to shop for. So it's really kind of a package to achieve health. And I thought, this is perfect, because I can't be in 100 places on one day, but if people purchase the tool, it's going to be so simple. And so that's kind of why I realized I need to create a product. It has to be a product, because I can't be everywhere.
Perfect. I think we have a question in the back.
How are you distributing the plates, and why did you choose that avenue?
That's a great question. We're doing it a couple different ways right now. The first place I had the plate actually was here in Bismarck, local. My brother Rick's in the audience, and he owns Capital City Restaurant Supply. And I said, Rick, we're launching this plate. Do you think that you could sell these plates? And he said, absolutely. So we have the plates being sold there. I went to the Bisman Community Food Co-op, which I love. And I said, do you guys want to carry the plates? They're like, absolutely. I went to my chiropractor, who believes in like a holistic, good nutrition and life principles, and she sold them. And then, of course, we're on Amazon, because if you're on Amazon, we can reach the masses. We can reach everybody from across the world, really.
Oh, we have a question over here.
Where did you come up with the name 1 Million Cups?
a good question.
Oh, 1 Million Cups was actually created by the Kauffman Foundation. So that comes to us from a national organization based out of Kansas City. Thank you.
I have a question for you, Renita. What would you recommend in gaining weight, but in a healthy way?
Yeah, that's the beautiful thing about the PFC plate. So we have people that actually gain weight. So what the plate actually does is it doesn't cut your calories or restrict them. It actually, by nourishing your body with the right amounts of proteins, fats, and carbohydrates, it helps to restore homeostasis. And homeostasis is like your sweet spot. So I've had super thin people that have had a heck of a time gaining weight actually eat on the plate and gain lean muscle. So it's not about just gaining weight. Let's go there for a second, because I talked to some of the NDSU throwers, and they're big people, right? And they're like, we're just supposed to eat whatever we want and gain weight. I'm like, yeah, then you struggle with losing weight your entire life and heart disease 10 years after you get out of college, right? So it's not just about gaining weight, it's about gaining healthy lean muscle is really what it's about. And so that's what the plate does. So we've had super thin people that do it, and they actually gain 5 pounds, feel better, look better, have more lean mass on their body. So it's incredible, again, that I can take the person that's 120 pounds overweight, and I can take a person that's underweight, and I can have them all eat on the plate, and guess what happens? Homeostasis. Their body pulls back to what their body is supposed to be. And that's the beautiful thing. That's why I said it's not for some of you, it's for every single one of you, because it just nourishes you.
That's a great question. Thank you. So do we have one over here? Yeah.
What's your best advice for like eating in school when you don't exactly like get to choose your meals?
Yeah, so obviously I'm a mom, and so many times we're packing PFC lunches. My best ammo is always to educate the teacher. So it's interesting how every time my boys have been in school, I've actually been a presenter at the school in the classroom to educate the teacher, because if I can get the teacher, she's the one running the classroom. So at least we know that my kids are eating PFC, but it usually stems over into me educating the entire school body and the entire student body, which happens many times. But I'm gonna tell you, honestly, it's preparation. Anybody can eat PFC, you have to prepare to win in life. You don't just naturally win. Nobody stumbles across the finish line at the Olympics and says, wow, I wonder how that happened. Like, it's all about preparation. So if you really want to eat PFC for your lifestyle, on Sunday, you're making the peanut butter protein balls. On Sunday, you're boiling the hard-boiled eggs, and then you're taking that stuff with you. And so I have people that have said to me, I really can't eat in between. And I'm like, you know what, when you go to your locker, grab 3 bites of that apple and 3 bites of your beef stick and move on. You know what I mean? It doesn't need to be excessive. It's not like you're gonna sit down sometimes and eat a full-blown meal. You just need a little something, because every time you eat, it's like putting a log in the fireplace. It stimulates your metabolism. And most people don't know that nutrition is 85% of your metabolism. So quit wasting all your money at the gyms and I'm a trainer, and I've been a trainer for 22 years, but people waste tons of money at the gyms, and if you don't change what you're putting in your mouth, nothing's changing with your body, period.
Great. Okay, so I've got a question. Is it okay if I ask Evan a question? He's feeling kind of lonely up here.
Here you go.
Okay.
He's the genius.
So Evan, you've been involved in a lot of different product development projects. Tell us a little bit about what have been the unique challenges or things that have been not as challenging with this particular effort.
Challenge keeping up with her.
Come on.
It's one of the challenges that it's a mass consumer product, and those are always hard, because you're literally competing with everyone else on the planet. Coca-Cola you're competing with for attention and for dollars. So it's as opposed to a super narrow market that's easier to really jump into. So I think that's been one of the challenges. And then there's been just tons of upside too. I think it's fun to be working on a project that is really easy to wrap your head around and really know that you're doing some good. And some of the neat things that have happened, for anyone that was here just a few weeks ago, we had Food First on stage, who is a company making bars up in Walhalla, North Dakota. And we've partnered with them to create a PFC version of the bar that they're going to private label for us. So it's just been an awful lot of fun in that sense too, kind of pulling in some other local North Dakota companies.
Okay, we have a question. Oh, hi.
Were there any points during making the plates where you felt like you wanted to give up on it, and how did you keep yourself motivated to get it finished?
I would say yeah. I think that's with anything in life, right? There's moments where you kind of doubt yourself, or like doubt the dream or doubt the vision, and I just think the power to win and to help people win with their health was more powerful than my, that bad day I was having. And so I also think it's about surrounding yourself with the right people. So like, we're all partners. So if I decide to quit today and these guys don't, I guess I'm still in the game, right? So like, don't all quit on the same day, right? But if you have enough good people around you that are encouraging you, that have the same vision, that have the same dream, I think it helps. I think that, and that's why, we've heard this, you are the equivalent of the 5 people you hang out with most. I tell this to my kids all the time. Quit hanging out with people that don't have big dreams, my oldest son, he's a big track athlete, and I'm like, your dream is to like be a professional runner. I'm like, you can't hang out with the guys that are staying up until 2 o'clock in the morning smoking weed. Like, you just can't. It's not part of your dream, and it's not part of your dream, and they don't understand your dream. So I think when you have a dream, like with me, it was the plate, and I really honestly want to help 1 million people nourish themselves, and I think that's just getting started in America, because look around, we have a crisis. And so I'm like, you need people that buy into that dream with you, so in those moments of it being hard, you remember why you started, right?
Excellent. Mike.
Yes, thank you.
Mike has the mic. I said Mike has the mic.
Yes. First of all, I really believe in the idea that, especially the students, look at the people sitting around you and the people that you do hang out with, because I agree there can be some really down times, and it helps to have somebody on the journey with you. Okay, now to my question. How are you protecting yourself against the Coca-Colas, the Pepsis, the whatever, through copyright, trademark, like I mentioned earlier, other than taking your shotgun to where they live or something? How are you protecting yourself?
That has other implications.
Yeah.
Do you want Evan to?
Yeah, yep, please.
Okay. Good question. It's at the end of the day, it's a paper plate, so that in itself isn't protectable. However, we have found some things around getting the right URLs, getting those locked down, getting trademarks. She has more URLs than anybody.
I buy URLs like some people buy shoes.
It's and she loves it. She gets all excited. Oh, I need to get the URL, and she has hundreds. We have access to her account, her GoDaddy account. So trademarks have really probably been the most significant thing that we've gone after, to just really trademark things like PFC every 3, for example, because this is a concept that Renita was really in on the beginnings of, but we're seeing more and more people starting to use some similar language and want to make sure that we kind of protect that brand. And we've even talked about, looking at doing a provisional patent application, even though it may or may not make it to a full patent. At least it gives you, and Mike, you know that very well, gives you some semblance of some protection early on. But great question.
Okay, so I have the next question, and this is for both of you. So, I've got 2. Okay, I'm going to ask my second one. Do you all, this is a little early in the game, but have you all given any consideration to what the exit strategy might be? What would be that perfect way of getting out of this someday and making you a millionaire?
You want to answer first, and then I'll go. Go ahead.
Oh boy, that's a lot of pressure. It's something we haven't really talked about a lot yet. I think what I love about it is it could continue to be just an awesome side hustle for us for a long time if that's the way we want to go. But also I could see it growing. We're really excited to get this bar in play. And at that point, then maybe Cliff Bar buys us, or we buy Cliff Bar, or might as well. So I think, there's a lot of different opportunities. There's licensing opportunities, ways to further leverage to get that, to hit those 1 million people or 200 million people or 2 billion people.
Right.
So I guess it's not something we've really talked about too much yet.
Right. What would be awesome is, I have the mic on. I was going to grab that. I don't need to. You guys can hear me. Honestly, I'd like to get Donald Trump healthy. Do you guys know this about me? Like, I met him once, and I think to myself, he's overweight, he's not healthy. I want to go to the big kingpin of our country. Boom, hammer him, get him healthy, and then it'll be a ripple effect after that where people, honestly, our youth need to be educated. This needs to be integrated in the school systems. The current My Plate is terrible. It creates diabetes because it's 3/4 carbohydrates. I mean, it's our entire system of healthcare needs to be flipped on its head. People are dying prematurely. 1 in 4 children have mental health issues. I mean, this is a crisis, you guys. And so for me, it's not like a little thing. It's like, okay, we have to take massive action very quickly. And it's a movement. It's not just me and these two saying, hey, you guys should eat on the plate. It's like people grabbing hold of their health by believing they can with this tool and starting to talk to people around them, starting to talk to their coworkers, their friends, their parents, their grandparents. And I mean, ideally, from a money standpoint, I mean, we'd love if something like, the Cliff Bar or Nike or something like that would say, you know what, let's just take it one step further and actually teach people to just do it with their health and to nourish themselves. And we want to buy that plate from you guys for, $300 million. Okay, we'll sell it for that. You know what I mean? And so, because at the end of the day, we just want to help more people win. And obviously, we know with those bigger, higher, buzzwords and companies that people look to kind of to make decisions and buying decisions, if we can get it in their hands, we know obviously the message is going to spread much quicker and much more powerfully. Big reach.
Great answer. We have
morning.
Hey,
Good morning, Renita.
morning.
Thanks for getting us pumped up today.
Come on, baby. We can exercise if we want to.
I love the concept. I love the plate. But you talked about how a lot of us aren't educated in terms of, okay, what is a fat? What is a protein? So if you're talking about people using this program for 8 weeks, what do they need other than the plate to get educated? Is there like a starter program or a starter kit?
It's a great question. And so basically what they need is the stack of plates. So right now we're selling 50 to a stack. They're about to be, we're about to do the hard plate, the bone china, that will be 2 plates per pack. But really they need that. They need a tape measure because we like to chart to start, right? You want to measure yourself, and they need a food scale. And so those are really the kind of the crucial ingredients, the plates, the tape measure, and the food scale. And then your camera, which is in your hand to take before pictures, because I always like to track things. And then we have these additional resources, which right now on our website are free, but we decided, why are we giving all that value away for free when we're going to actually, in the next go round, once we launch the bone china plate, it's actually going to come in the pack, which is going to be super cool. So it's kind of like ready to rock. So when they get that, they'll basically need a food scale and a tape measure and the will to win. That helps.
So I'll speak quickly. I guess the MC can't answer a question, but I'm going to break the rules.
Yep.
So for me, Joel, too, what really helped is one of the things Renita's put together is a list of proteins, fats, and carbohydrates, because I learned a lot about which different things they are. And then I know Marlo got really excited because there's also a section that is free unlimited portion size, and I totally got stoked about that, right?
Yeah, cheese
is not on
the
the
list.
list,
Cheese was a protein. He would send me his plates.
He's in denial about that. But yeah, 2 places. A short list is on the plate of each one of those things, so that kind of gets your noggin started. But then we have, like Renita said, the backup tools that really start to soak in. Like I learned that plain Greek yogurt is a beautiful protein, and most of you probably already knew that, but for me, like, that's one of my go-tos. So I think it really starts, those extra tools, along with your tape measure and scale, really help a lot. So that was a great question. Thank you. Yes.
So, Renita, is this plate worldwide? Like, is it able for other countries and stuff like that to order?
Yeah, we want to make that, because I actually, my audience, because I do another business where I have a global friends, so they wanted to use it in like Malaysia and Japan and places like that. Currently, it's been a little bit more difficult for them to get access, because I mean, we're just currently available on Amazon, and sometimes the shipping and all the kind of the craziness with that is maybe a little bit of a deterrent currently, but the goal is for it to be a global movement. I mean, absolutely. Yeah, depending on the environment that we're in. Like, obviously, they eat a little bit different in Japan than we eat here. And so just kind of changing that a little bit to accommodate their cultural, lifestyle is appropriate as well.
We got a question.
Hi, Renita. This is Rockin' Dave. How are you?
Hey, how you doing?
So one of the things that I wanted to ask you about is, you're talking about eating, but you didn't key in the fitness part of it. How important is that in your whole program? I mean, the plate talks about, the three food groups, but what about fitness? Because sometimes we just think that we can get by with eating right, but it also we need to exercise our bodies. So, can you comment on that?
Yeah, especially as we get older, right, Dave? Like, so after the age of 25, do you guys know you lose about 7 to 10% of muscle each decade? So after 25, it's kind of like downhill. So you got to be exercising. But the truth is, and we have a great little 8-minute video that I did that explains everything of how to do the PFC plate in a nutshell. Like, it's a duplicatable video that you guys could watch. And in there, I actually show you your metabolism. Because some people think that they can outwork a bad diet, right? You think you can go to the gym and work out for 3 hours and eat like pizza every night or something. And the truth is I actually show you what your metabolism looks like. And 85% of your metabolism is basically your basal metabolic rate, which is your body functioning in homeostasis, in blood sugar stabilization. 15% only of our total metabolism is our lifestyle and our fitness. And it's funny how, I mean, I'm in fitness. I believe in it. I have 22 health and fitness certifications. But the truth is, you cannot work a bad diet. And so what happened is for years, I would personal train clients, because I'm a certified personal trainer, and I would charge, whatever, $1,500 a month. And a lot of these people wouldn't make the appropriate nutritional changes, and not much would change with their body, right? They might feel a little bit more cardiovascularly fit. In fact, if they wouldn't change their nutrition, if they start working out, in fact, they'd gain weight sometimes, because muscle weighs more than fat, that's true. And so I realized you have to have both, especially as you get older. And it doesn't need to be, an hour a day at the gym. I actually created something called 5 and 25, and it's free, and it's really awesome. I'm just gonna be honest, because every single day you get a brand new workout, and it's 5 new exercises, 25 reps or 25 seconds. It should take you 25 minutes or less, and they kick major booty is what they do. And because I'm certified to teach everything from kickboxing to strength to yoga to Pilates, so it's a combination of a lot of different modalities of exercise. But every single day on our Facebook group, we have a brand new workout that I launch every single day. So here's your 5 exercises of the day, guys. Here's your 5 and 25. Here's your 5 and 25. So it's not the large component of our metabolism, but 15% makes a difference, right? Especially as you age, and we know that muscle loss is happening. No, it's not happening. Come on, flex your muscles, Evan. Yeah, so that's the answer to that question. And so I believe in a lot of different modalities of fitness. I'm not the person that says you should just do yoga or you should just be a runner. Like, I believe in like hiking, biking, swimming, mountain climbing. Let's go have some fun paddle boarding. Let's do it all. Let's just live an active, healthy lifestyle. And that's much easier to do when you're 50 pounds lighter, so.
Terrific. Thank you for your question. All right, Dawn, I'm going to send it to you for the last question that we ask after every 1 million cups.
Well, thank you so much, Renita, for bringing PFC Plate to 1 million cups stage. And like Janya just said, we ask the same question at the end of every session. What can we, as the Bismarck Mandan 1 million cups community, do for you to help PFC Plate and you succeed?
You guys can start eating on the plate to feel great. And another major thing that you can do is follow us on Facebook, like our Facebook page and Instagram page. Also, because I believe that marketing is everything and everything is marketing. We can have really great products, but if it's not, the message is not being moved, nothing is changing. If you guys want to text PFC Plate to 57711, you can be part of our PFC Plate community. In fact, if you do that today, we're going to give away a pack of plates, a stack of 50 pack. If you guys would like to win, I'd encourage you. You can pull out your phones, text PFC Plate to 57711, and when you do that, we'll go in for a drawing, and we'll give somebody a pack of plates, but then you'll be connected to our community, so you'll know like when the new plate is launched and different things that are going on. I like to give a lot of nutrition and health and fitness advice and tidbits, simple things that people can apply to their lives to make their lives more healthy, so you'll be part of that. Thank you.
Well, let's give it up for Renita, everybody.
And can you guys just say this one more time with me? Can you all say with me, PFC, every three, like a baby. Wow. Got it.
Well, thank you so much, everyone, for joining us today. We hope to see your smiling faces back here next week, where we have Nordic Steel presenting. They are amazing. They're shaking up the way that construction is done, and I think you're going to learn a lot from them. And if you could see yourself up on this stage someday, go on to the 1 Million Cups website, and you can apply to present. And it's pretty painless, right, Renita?
It's easy.
It's easy. All right. Well, thank you, everybody. Grab a cup of coffee on the way out.
Thank you, guys.